Hi, I'm Noodle, and I'm someone who gets scared very easily. If you give me a sign that something scary is gonna happen, I will be on my nerves 100% of the time. But what exactly causes that nerve? I remember hearing this analogy from a YouTuber that I forgot that basically goes, if a bomb suddenly goes off and you die, that'd be pretty bad. But if you're told that a bomb will go off and you'll die, now you're suddenly filled with anticipation and fear because you're now aware something bad or scary will happen. Another example, it's like opening up a door and randomly getting jump scared. That would suck. But if you are directly or indirectly told there's a chance of getting jump scared, now it's a bit more scary. Notice how I said indirectly though. A lot of us humans, I'm choosing to say a lot of us instead of all of us for specific reasons, have natural instincts that give us the feeling, the innate warning in our mind that something is wrong. If it looks like a duck, talks like a duck, sounds like a duck, it's probably a duck, and many of us have different criteria for what fits that. Liminal spaces and the whole backrooms thing were a major point of discussion for what caused this form of anxiety, this form of tension brewing. It gets made fun of now, but during that time, there was genuine widespread discussion on what evoked that feeling. It was something that fit loosely with the uncanny valley, something that looks slightly off compared to what you usually associate with it. A human face, a building, there are aspects we associate with it that when removed/altered, puts you on edge. And then everyone, put their SCP monsters into it, but that's a discussion for another day. What I want to focus on is what gets you on edge. What signs do you usually notice when you feel something's off? Your roommate not responding when you get home, your workplace being entirely empty, or something that's been altered ever so slightly. That's tension, that's fear. And one of the best ways to build that kind of reaction is to place it into something you know, something you're familiar with. B3313 is a very popular Mario 64 ROM hack that's loosely based off beta builds of Mario 64, along with the whole every copy of Mario 64 is personalized towards you thing that was around a couple of years ago. This isn't to degrade it in any way, this ROM hack is amazing, and many videos have touched on their individual experiences with the game. Developed by Chris R. Lilo and his development team, B3313 is a ROM hack. Yeah, I don't know how to go about its developmental process because it revealed too much, but it is very impressive. That's what my friend Cody says in a way, who knows way more than I do. The game was in development for many years as it introduced new elements, including an AI system designed to fit the player. Cody revealed that the game is almost impossible to play on most emulators, and is Windows only because of its crazy elements, which makes me feel very special. I'm sorry Cody, I can never get you for a full-fledged video. To be as spoiler-free as possible, the game starts out looking like one of the beta builds of Mario 64. You go inside the castle, do a few levels, and then you'll start noticing things looking off. From there, good luck. Many people interpret B3313 as a horror game, and in some aspects are not wrong, but I feel some do overly exaggerate the horror elements of the game. I hesitate to fully say that though, because of how random the game is. What you may experience may not be what someone else experiences, unless they've 100% the game. It makes it unique, and especially this video since it's based off my own experience with the game. The reactions and feelings I feel are personalized towards me, and we'll get into that later. B3313 is incredibly huge, with multiple hubs, hundreds of levels, and mysteries that leave you confused and befuddled. This isn't going to be a lore video because I'm not even sure there is one. I've kept myself purposely blind this game for years for a video like this, and after playing the game, I want to focus on the one thing that was on my mind the entire time. Tension. And being scared shitless. B3313 is one of those unique games that only really works for those who know, and I don't mean that in a stupid type of way. The entire concept of B3313 is one built off a long history of Mario 64. From beta builds to the Giga to the personalization, all of it comes together in this package that sort of celebrates as a whole. If you have no knowledge of the history of Mario 64, what it initially looked like, what it initially sounded like, you won't get the full experience. You'll still have fun, you'll still get scared, you'll still get spooked, but you won't reach a certain level that, in my experience, makes the tension and fear perfect. It's like playing Deltarune before playing Undertale. You can still enjoy the story and gameplay, but you are missing out on so much that heightens the experience to another level. Winks, nods, parallels that may influence the story, it completely recontextualizes how you feel about the game. And the same applies to B3313 when it comes to horror. What makes it all the more unsettling is its characters you know too. Listen, I used to be a Nintendo kid. I watched Did You Know Gaming Recycle Gaming Trivia, I watched Beta 64, I learned all I could because it was so much fun, and it was especially fun learning about how games look before they officially released. It's very rare for official builds to be released, that we get to see what was cut and what was changed fully. It's why I love researching, to archive this stuff, and the existence of this type of ROM hack creates a feeling of, what if you got to play the actual beta build, and it uses that exact feeling to catch you by surprise? Although, surprise isn't the best word. If you're even thinking about playing this game, you know that it has creepy and eerie moments. The only aspect that matters is how it accomplishes it. So it's time for you to see what I experienced. The game builds up the immersion of this beta build so well. From the beta sounds, to the beta text, to the beta visuals, it's authentic and immerses you in. But you know something's up. Right when I defeated Bowser, instead of getting sent back to the normal hub, I got sent here.
Where am I?
In case you don't know, that's not what's supposed to happen. The feeling of dread is so minuscule at the start, but it keeps you on edge because of how quickly the game shifts its tone. Sometimes it's meaningful, sometimes it's not, and on your first experience, you're not gonna know which is which, what's gonna result in a scare, and what's gonna result in nothing. Imagine randomly seeing your health bar change, or a text box have no text in it.
Why is my health different?
The rules for how the game operates changes very quickly, so the moment you adapt, it shifts before you get comfortable. Imagine completing a level, re-entering it, and suddenly it's a new level. In a meta sense, the game is sort of evolving to fit different variations of the beta builds that people believe happened. The whole Mario 64 iceberg shit kinda created an oversaturation of fake beta builds where people made it scary or completely out their concepts. B3313 paid respects to both the official evidence and the fake evidence, which is really cool from my perspective, but also horrifying from a general perspective. Grab a group of Mario 64 fans and ask what their interpretation of the beta build would look like. Some would make it look like the pre-release screenshots. Some would imagine more out there concepts that weren't possible at the time. And some would interpret it as paranormal horror AI personalization type shit. Mixing all that together creates a clusterfuck that somehow is done perfectly. And I think it's in part because of the AI put in place. I don't know anything about this, nor do I do research because I'm not gonna lie. The joy in B3313 is going in blind, and I don't want to spoil myself on how the game actually works. What I can say is that the AI toys with you. It plays with you. It knows when to fuck with you. The L is real statue has been infamous in the Mario 64 community, and when my castle changed, I saw that the path to the statue was open, as it didn't exist beforehand. I go in, check around, but when I go back inside, no, please. That's purposeful. That was a fucking trap. The whiplash I received in that moment let me know that I was being watched, that it knew what I was gonna do, and that made me on high alert. I'm a very curious person. I like going beyond things if I can. There's a pipe here? Well, what if there's something beyond it? In other games, I'd be rewarded. Here though, I get punished by being somewhere I probably shouldn't be. Having the context of what the game is doing instantly puts you on edge. Like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to building tension, it's the initial signs that should make you wary. Here's the thing though, there are no consistent signs. It feels randomized, so instead of feeling tension in certain areas that might be scary, you're now feeling tension everywhere, because at any point, you can just be here. God dang, I knew it. The game can go from being an actual game with levels and stars to complete dread and expecting a jump scare that'll make you shit your pants. There's no gauging it. Some have these unsettling moments that end up not really being scary, while some actually catch you off guard. There's not even a real goal in B3313. Apparently the game has hundreds of levels and lobbies, and I definitely have not gone that deep. And a part of me thinks that's a good thing. I've done a few sessions just going for the game, seeing what's here, seeing what's there, with no real end goal. I'm just wandering around knowing that there's a chance something can happen. Now, why did I continue? I could have just stopped and shut the game completely, so what kept me going despite that tension brewing inside me? Well, I mean, the visuals and programming are really good and impressive and should be praised, but a part of me was also captivated. It felt like a rabbit hole. There were so many hubs with doors that can lead to God knows where, and a part of it came from my memory. Every so often, I'd see something that looks like a beta screenshot I remember seeing years ago and being like, oh my god! And it was just enough for me to keep going. Was this actually in the beta builds, or is this just imagination? The way the game keeps evolving makes it seem like the game is live progressing as we keep going, and it's those points I gravitate towards as I play the game. But every so often, I'm reminded that it might be a trap and there's no point. Is the game really progressing in real time, or is it the AI just fucking with you for shits and giggles? Are the beta screenshot recreations just there to keep me engaged like a free candy van? You need to keep yourself in check while playing this game. Not saying you'll go mentally insane, but you'll be caught off guard. And no one likes being caught off guard. Imagine I just jump scared you right now with no warning. Now, let's be honest with ourselves, this isn't the scariest game I've played, and it's probably not the scariest you've seen. I mean, it's just Mario 64, but trust me when I say I'm doing this game a disservice by just showing bits and pieces. If you can't play the game, please watch a playthrough just to see what someone else experienced, because it's a slow burn in the best way possible. In just 2 hours, there can be heavy differences in what this person experienced and what I experienced. Imagine they didn't get any of those scary scenes and I'm just acting fucking crazy this entire video. That's probably happened to someone. It establishes rules just to break them, and that goes a long way into immersion and building tension. If you don't have any rules, you get Mario 64 Chaos Edition. When you're expecting something and it appears a bit off, then that's what causes tension. Unknown. and irregularity. I won't go too much into it, but Doki Doki Literature Club and Undertale are good examples of this. Doki Doki's twist is pretty famous now, but it's still effective in how it sets up the rules. Stuff like text boxes in front of the characters and spreads being normal sets up the expectations for how things should be. Cut to Act 2 and things are off, such as characters being in front of text boxes, which catches your attention since that's not what's supposed to do. Undertale is a bit more special about it, since a lot more elements are very sneakily put into the game. It sets up both real and fake rules, but leaves little asterisks that most people won't realize until certain events happen later, or if they just so happen to come across them. The executions are slightly different, but still achieve a similar result. What helps B3313 more than Undertale and Doki Doki is that the rules are established in two different ways. The first way is just showing you the base game, being a normal game and acting like one until it says fuck you. The second way the rules are established are before you play the game. B3313 is built off of history. It's built off the experiences and memories of thousands of people. What they believed in shows, and before you start playing it, the rules of what should happen should be pretty clear to you. You are playing a ROM hack of Mario 64, one of the most famous games of all time. I don't want to demean anyone, but I doubt anyone would play B3313 without at least playing Mario 64 once. And if you have played Mario 64 once, you know how it goes. You know how it controls, how it plays, the rules are already in your mind. It's not like playing other platforms or RPGs or visual novels and understanding the rules. No, you have the rules of specifically Mario 64 inside you. Because of that, when B3313 begins to show its other sides, its other colors, it's even more impactful because what you're familiar with, you'll resonate with a lot more. But the times you don't will feel even more alienating. The familiarity you once had with it is taken advantage of, and I can only imagine how it must feel for older folks who grew up with Mario 64 playing this ROM hack. Listen, I grew up with Mario 64 in different ways. I watched SMG4. I'm sorry. The levels and set pieces used in this series were always stuck in my mind and remain a core memory for me. To have bits and pieces be reignited because of playing this creates such a surreal feeling of nostalgia with a feeling of dread. I personally tend to get caught up with thinking of nostalgia a little too often, and that feeling of dread comes from feeling chained to the past. It's good to look back, but not to have it hold you back, if that makes sense. Playing this game heightened that feeling, as every part of the game was the past. Or was it? I mean, it looks like it's in the past, but it doesn't seem right. Some locations remind me of old footage and photos, but some don't. Some feel off. Something's not right. And that feeling spreads throughout the entirety of my B3313 playthrough, creating a feeling of tension that, when finished, shows the game's true side. The scariest part, though, is I don't know if someone else saw the same things I did. What the hell is that? B3313 is certainly an experience. Some might say it's not even a game, but I don't really know about that. Feel free to share your experiences with B3313 because, like I said earlier, everyone's experience is different. Also, I'm sick now, so I'm gonna go to bed.